Gentlemen, very serious video today. Luba is going to be sharing some insights into why Ukrainian women are crazy.
Striker. No, guys, really, I want to speak about psychologists, as I think that this is a very triggering topic for a lot of you guys. So I guess that our audience in this video will divide in two parts. One who will know and experience that, and I will explain that to them so they understand better the culture. So it's also about cultural difference that you need to get in order if you want to date a Slavic woman. And another audience will be the guys who has no idea why I'm telling about this, but they will now know, and when this will happen to them, it will not be a surprise. So I guess it will be useful for everyone. Please stay tuned and subscribe to our Telegram channel. Please, there we talk about, we do some surveys, we discuss different topics, we post updates about what is going on behind the scene and everything. So it's a useful community, free of charge. All you need to do is install app and follow the link below. So psychologist. We have Zoom parties, and during the Zoom parties, I try to not just introduce people, but also try to answer some most how is the frequent questions that the guys has. For example, about tattoos, about divorces, and about psychologists. One of the event there was a lot of girls who were psychologists, or all of Ukrainian girls, I would say 95% nowadays will say I like, if you ask what kind of books you read, say I like psychology books, I read psychology, I'm educated, I want to be a psychologist. Okay. For Ukrainians, it's the same as on the West, you would say, I don't know, I'm learning marketing. It's the same. But for you,
or it might be self-improvement books.
Yes, self-improvement. Yes, exactly. So self-improvement in the West, it's not bad, right? It sounds not bad.
No,
but what's happening is that the guy, as soon as he's seen her profile that she's psychologist, or if she speak about psychology, the guy's like, stop.
Loco,
red flag. No, I have to run. And so on one of the Zoom parties, we speak about that. And I want to explain, because I really, I go, our videos evolved, and I grow with you. All this information, it's also I'm thinking, and then it's boom, I got it. So there was about westernized, about this, and so psychology, it's something kind of brand new to Ukraine. And I heard from Striker, and people say that, when they get divorced, or they thinking about divorce, they go to the counselor, they go to the therapy, and it's all kind of been there for years. When in Ukraine, psychology itself really become more, I would say, popular or more known,
mainstream,
cool,
cool.
Yeah, even cool. 10, 15 years ago. Before, because in USSR, everything was prohibited. Relationship, you can't learn anything about relationship. Here is the rule: you get married, you have 5 kids, you die together, you work at the factory. There's no interrelationship. How to maintain a relationship? What's the point to maintain a relationship if you can't divorce anyway? And so I say anyway, very
Russian.
So what's the point of even investigating and learning? But when people become more free, I told about that, there's a sex education in the West. What in Ukraine, sex education? No sex education. And even till now, there is nobody talk about how to use condoms or anything like that. Children doesn't know. So how do they need to find out? By parents who also think, oh my God, it's such a bad topic. You find it out when you grow up. How he will find out? So Ukraine is very, for example, technologically developed by many means, right? Our even banking system is incredible app. You can do anything, buy flights, do this, everything is perfect. But according to something, it's really lacking, lacking by far, psychological, the sex education, etc. So why I'm saying that is that 10, 15 years ago, it became more available. All the books that was written on the West, John Echo, all these psychologists, Freud and etc. When it was written, when Freud wrote his books, many
Yes.
years ago. But people in Ukraine start reading them only 10, 15 years ago. So that's why the accumulation of ladies who are learning psychology, getting to, because it's interesting, when you think about that, it is interesting to get to know about relationship, to find out why men reacting like that on the conflict and ladies react like this, or how to, children's psychology. A lot of ladies, they start learning about the children's psychology, because nowadays with all the tablets, with everything, kids are different. We were playing with a stick and the sand all all day, and we was like not hungry, not wanting to drink, because if we go home, like they will never let us go again. This is how we were raised. You know, we can't go anywhere. We only can stay like here and like and play really with a stick and like I don't know and sell sunflower seeds. It was my first business, but anyway.
Quite the entrepreneur, right?
Yeah. So nobody was buying, but I was trying to use my charm. Anyway, you know, so like we are different, and so girls are learning that. And maybe on the West, if she is like I'm a psychologist, like then she is like or she's going to psychologist means that she is like something mentally wrong with her, maybe like because it's what I feel from the guys, it's what I see from the clients who say, oh my god, like if she's going to psychologist, that's it, like that's it, she's mental. But in reality, I'm doing a course now because I'm planning to create a course for Slavic ladies, dating course, because I see a huge gap that, you know, like just videos, just little information is not enough. I need to implement course. And even I was doing an interview for one YouTuber, and she said like you have so much information, you have to do it. So, but in order to understand what these ladies, like how to speak their language, I need to listen to bloggers that they're watching, like the people who has influence on them. And those are guys, usually guys who are sometimes giving them very stupid and strange advice, like asking for flowers or let him stay at the gas station and wait until...
Is it men giving the woman that advice?
Yes, Ukrainian men giving a woman advice, and it's and women as well, super stupid and super strange. But I understand why. I understand, like I was confused when I started, like I buy one course, I bought another course, because I want to understand where the stupidity of these women sometimes come from in order to fix it. So I need to become a little bit stupid, I need to go to their level.
You need to go undercover.
Because in Ukraine it was a huge thing, and even my best friend, she was doing that, and I was looking at her like I was shocked. The task that these guys are giving is that go to the gas station, pull the full tank, pretend that you have no money, and ask a man. So this is how you will improve your femininity and your skills. So I go to the gas station, I fulfill my tank, and then I look and I see you and said like, sorry, I forgot my wallet. Can you please pay for my gas?
Okay, but just to clarify, this is a Ukrainian advisor, man, advising women to do this, but advising them that's what they should do in the West, or they should do that in
No, they should
Ukraine?
do it like if they want to build a relationship, but before they can build a relationship, they need open up their femininity and really an ability to ask the man for something. This is what, and of course, you know, unfortunately, it's all hype. It's all, I mean, I know that I'm switching off the psychology, but I will get back to that in a second. The thing is that it's all hype, because if he will say you need to be feminine, even like Striker helping me now with the videos, like we have a, how you call it, like a part when I ask him a question and he answers as a man. And he tried to give them useful advice that really we need them to know. And I said, Striker, not gonna work. And he said like, Luba, what do you mean? Because girls want to hear something like that. Unfortunately, they want to hear that the man will advise her to go to the gas station and wait for somebody to buy her coffee, and not like on a date. It's like, I mean, I know for you it sounds like horrible, but this is the reality. Those are influencers who want to get a lot of money from women, and they are willing to tell them whatever these women want to hear, and it needs to be something creative. Because if they sit there and say you need to be caring, you need to be loving, you need to be a good wife, you need to cook borscht, they will say boring, I don't want this, even though it's true. Nobody will buy his course. Nobody will follow him. But when he say you need to tell him to send you flowers every 2 weeks, you need to, and you send him address and you send him link and you ask him, you should ask him. You know, this is the thing that they really like implementing in the mind of these women. And unfortunately, we see that now a little bit, just a little bit, in some of our ladies. And so that is how I get into that buying these courses to understand.
Can I add something here? There is an equivalent of this for the men. Right? And this is what the red pill is doing to a lot of men. They're giving them the most outlandish stories or the outlandish advice, and then relating a story that relates to the advice. It's a real outlier. And then there's I don't know if it's a cognitive bias, where say the women already have an idea of what they would like it to be. So they gravitate towards that advice, because for them it's like 2 bits of advice. I want this to be the advice that I take. And someone is saying it, so I'm going to listen to that, not to this one. It's the same with the red pill. Exactly. The red pill is the same. They teach men that, you know, all women, and all you need to know is hypergamy, and she's going to leave you, and she's not yours, it's just your turn. And for men, it's comforting, because it's like, yeah, I knew it wasn't me. I knew that it was all her. So they gravitate towards that. And then the red pill guys have to outdo each other by saying the most outlandish and ridiculous and most striking things for men to go, and then they watch it and they lap it up. It's the same thing.
Exactly. It's a great example. I didn't even think about that. It's exactly the same. So that's why like for me, girls who are learning psychology and want to understand relationship are way better than the girls who are just listening to those guys buying these courses and trying to implement it in a relationship that will never work. But it sounds cool, it sounds easy, it sounds interesting, it sounds different. That's why they follow it. But coming back to psychology, so what I see is that sometimes guys are scared that, oh, if she go to psychologist, because a lot of girls nowadays, they have coach, they have a personal coach, they have a psychologist. But you need to understand that in Ukraine, it's so much more cheaper than on the West. It's not that you have to pay like hundreds of dollars, for the therapy or anything. And so I think that the tendency a little bit changed. So now it's all about positivity. So before, I remember like my mom, like she had a friend and she was always coming and she was always moaning about her husband. I even like a kid remember that on this level, that she was coming and she was like all her problems she was throwing in my mom. And I don't remember.
Your mum was a psychologist.
She was not back then.
Oh.
I know.
Was that
yeah,
the point
maybe,
when she said,
maybe.
I need to do this professionally?
Yeah, because my mom
I need to get paid for this shit.
My mom, like, she has first education, and then when I was 15 or 16, she went to university again to become a psychologist, and then she worked in medical center. But like, it was a different psychology. But anyway, so nowadays, friends are not sharing the negativity. They try to encourage each other. So there should be a friend, there should be a person for whom because we all have negativity, we have to admit it. You have stress at work, you have like this and this, we have negativity, we have stress, whatever. So it's so much better if your woman can go somewhere like to this person that is regulated, right? That she can like kind of like leave it all there and come to you happy, fresh, inspired, with some kind of a direction, rather than you're busy. You are like, we have this with one couple that, remember we were coaching, like there was a problem about the sponge that, she was depending on him and she was giving him a hard time about him using the sponge that she bought for washing the plates. And I said, listen, the problem is not the sponge. And it's not even you. The problem is her. She has nobody to talk to. She's not she's scared. She can't drive. And I said, all you need to do is you need to find her person who will help her to get a driving license. That's it. That will cover all of your problems. So you will not be responsible of on your only day off on Sunday, go to the grocery and buy her like these sponges to wash the plates. So the thing is that having a psychologist in Ukraine doesn't mean that the lady is crazy. Doesn't mean that she has problems. It's just basically a person who can a little bit navigate her in a world full of like Instagram pictures, all the social medias, like where the girl is living. Like, I'm the girl, right? And Striker just like before, like while we do the videos, like you need to copy the video, and he said you should remove the Instagram. Like, it's like drug addicted. Like, you just like go to your phone and you start scrolling and you see, oh my God, she has a new boyfriend. Oh, this one has thousands of roses. This one is traveling.
It's shocking.
You got sucked into that. And no matter how successful you are, how positive you are, you, in the one point of time, you will watch one picture or one video where you will feel miserable because you are not like them. You didn't achieve that level. That is, unfortunately, can be even fake. Can be even fake. And also, like, I will also kind of like open a little bit the curtain about the pictures with the roses and everything that you see online. That is the problem. Like, I have a girl who is doing manicure for me, and I came to her, and I know that she really, really wants to find a boyfriend, but she doesn't want to leave Spain, so I can't introduce you to her. But like, she's very nice, and I saw a huge bouquet of flowers on her Instagram, and I said, hey, like, listen, what's happening? Like, are you meeting someone? And I said, like, I saw those roses. And she said, do you want me to tell you the story of the roses? I said, yes. Like,
there's someone else's?
And she said, like, my friend came to me, like your girlfriend came from Ukraine, and they was at the restaurant, and like this guy who is walking and selling like roses, like one rose in Odessa, it was the same. Yes. They walk like they sell rose, and so she decided to buy rose for her and for her friend, and she gave him 20 euros, but he need to give change 10, and he said, oh, I need to go and get change, I don't have. So he left all the roses on the table and ran for the change. What the girls do while the guy ran away and leave the flowers, they done for the session. So if I look at this, I think, like, I never got like so many roses for example, because it was giant. He just like started the business, he just came in the evening. And when you look at that, like you feel miserable if you are not like that sober, if you're not that like, I mean, but it's not about sober. It's not about being like, I think that I'm pretty confident, right? But even I, sometimes when I jump into that, like I understand that, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? Like my life is not like that pictures. So her having a psychologist, for example, is the least of the problem that she can have. And you need to not worry about that. This is the main idea of this video, that if you're talking to a Ukrainian lady and she tells you, I'm using a psychologist, or a lot of girls nowadays using a coach, trust me, it's for the best. Because what coach is doing, coach is incredible profession. A coach is not telling, like we're doing like kind of a wrong coaching, because we tell exactly what to do. And I think that this is good. But in general, I learned about coaching that coaches are just there to listen to you and a little bit navigate you with the questions. Like, for example, you say, I don't know what to do in my life. And she would say, what do you want to do? And they are super polite with you. They're very friendly. They always say, oh, thank you very much for sharing. And I just heard how, how
thank you very much for sharing.
It's like it's their
now
phrase.
$100. Please.
Yes, but it's like they say that, and you understand that there is no people, like friend will not speak with you like that. And sometimes you want to be on a level when person really
neutral. Maybe you want neutrality when it comes to who you talk
and
to.
so this is what I'm trying to do. It's like, I don't want you to think that Ukrainian ladies are crazy. And a lot of ladies, the same with psychologists, they learn about astrology, they learn about tarot cards. But for some reason, guys immediately start thinking, oh, if she's into tarot cards, then she's like a witch. She's a witch, she's like this, she's crazy, she's gonna do this. But girls just curious, because it's super new. Oh my God. It's super new, it's super interesting, it's super unusual, because nobody, like I know that firsthand, like I personally has not much interest in that, but my mom, because she got to university when I was already a teenager, and she didn't get there because I was a teenager, I hope, but she went there, and she also, like, I remember these books, and she was like hungry to read them, because it was something that nobody was speaking about that before. And the problem, I will get back, that on the West, it's already involved in many years. So that's why somebody's interested, somebody's not interested, somebody reading, somebody not. But in Ukraine, it's brand new. The same as like people like just now start like step by step having like a drying machine, right? Like for the clothes. Yeah. I was the first, like, because I was in the West, I was living in the US, and we saw that, and I was like it's
a washing machine that dries clothes?
No, it's like is it even possible? I mean, like there's 2-in-1 and like it's bad, but I was like, is it even possible? Like the towels, because when I was a kid in an apartment, it's always like a little bit wet, and so the towels always smell a little bit. Like you dry them, but they never actually that dried. And in Ukraine, it's, or they was drying it on a street, like in a yard, and they was always stolen. Like
you mean they would hang them out?
They was hanging them out.
Oh,
but it's like for the fresh air, but they would be stolen. If you don't have a balcony, like it would be stolen. And so honestly, and
by the local towel thief.
No, but I'm telling you, like we were as a kid, we were supposed to stay outside and wait until our sheets would be dry. But
guarding them.
Like
security.
Yes. So imagine like our childhood, and now there's book of psychology is available. Like we're wild, we're savage. I don't know, but I want to say that like don't overthink, and some things that are on a West is cliche, or like something that on a West is bad, it's not necessarily as bad in a Slavic culture. Psychology, astrology, etc. If she's into like on the latest Zoom call, it was funny, but it was interesting that some of the guys were really supporting that. There was a girl who was asking all the guys, what is your zodiac sign? What is your zodiac sign? What is your zodiac sign? And okay, for her it's important. Is it that bad? Does it mean that she's crazy? Like she actually, one guy said like, why do you ask? And she said, I'm just curious because my parents, and she starts saying like the cancer cannot be with the lion. It's like, it's the worst combination in the whole world, like everybody say about that. But my parents are like that, and they love each other, and they all live together. So I was just curious. So she was even asking that without exact purpose, I would say.
Yeah, this is one of the worst things that a man can do, is that he can think that women think like men, right? And so in her, like maybe they call it psychology, maybe in men we would see it, we would do something that is similar but not the same, right? We may not call it psychology, but to say that, to think that
to be fishing.
No, but I mean, like we could call it something else. Like we may consult with another man about improving our lives somehow, mentally, becoming more efficient, biohacking, something like that. So they're kind of like the same thing. And the two things relate to improving oneself. So I believe that everyone should be constantly trying to improve themselves a little bit, no matter what it is, something, whether it's through you're learning something or, you getting fitter, whatever it is. It's the same for the woman as well. Because I used to think the same thing, I'll tell you about the psychology. I used to also think, why are these women always into psychology? They must have gone through some sort of trauma in their life and now they're trying to heal themselves, right? But everybody has been through trauma in their life, but not everybody tries to heal themselves. And I think it's more problematic if somebody has trauma that they don't recognize, maybe from their childhood, and they don't try to fix it. And then they carry that baggage all throughout their lives. Men quite often will find, say, the red pill after they've been through some sort of relationship trauma, right? Then they start Googling it, and then they're like, oh, what is this? Oh my God, all these other men are having the same problem or whatever. Then they start seeing all the books that everybody is reading, Way of Superior Man, and Mr. Nice Guy, and all these, Rollo Tomasi and all that. Then they start reading those. This is the equivalent of the psychology of what Luba was saying. It's about self-improving. Now, can it go too far? I think it most certainly can, and I think that many guys who stay on that train, that red pill train of reading a ton of books, not so much books actually, I think books have a lot more value than consuming YouTuber content. A bunch of guys sitting around a table, podcast interviewing some OnlyFans girls. This is not useful at all. And the same could be said for the woman. If she's reading books, actual, maybe written by psychologists.
Exactly.
These are good.
But what is bad about that?
No, that's what I'm saying.
No.
It needs to be differentiated. You need to separate it. But if she's watching a dude telling a woman to go get free gas at the gas station because this is how you find a real man.
Now I'm that woman. I'm watching his course.
Yeah, and then that's different as well.
Would you give me some money for the gas?
No, I won't give you any money for the gas.
Yes, because the man should go and fulfill her tank by himself.
Exactly. That's what I would do.
Thank you.
Because you'd just make a mess of it anyway and you'd lose half the gas on the side of the car. But that's what I'm saying there is that, like, if she's working on herself, that is good. You want a woman that is working on herself in the right areas, right? Just like You're a man and you're working on yourself as well. And this is just normal. It's not even that weird. I don't even know why we're making this video.
And you know what is important is that we having our strategy calls, and more often, like nowadays, not more often, I would say maybe 70 to 30%. 70% is the guy who want to sign up and want to become a client, and 30% of the guys who they just found our video and think like, oh my God, I'm in a relationship and something is wrong. Even if they are with a Western woman or with Ukrainian that they met like somewhere there. And so the thing is that there are many things that we have to explain, that sometimes the girls who are unfortunately scammers, like for example, like the guy we had a call recently, he was saying like, but she was telling me it's like Ukrainian culture, like she was saying me that this is like all Ukrainians are the same. I said, okay, so you listening to one girl that is like really like putting spaghetti on your ears, or how you call it, like, and you trust her over like millions of other people. And I said, to be honest, like I'm Ukrainian and she's Ukrainian, right? And like I feel embarrassed that she's representing a Ukrainian culture like the way she is, but she doesn't care because she make money on that. But like, and we speak with these guys and we explain to them. So of course, like all of you who are watching this video, not becoming our clients, but trust me, there is always explanation, and it's better to ask someone who is aware, like give us a call, message us on Telegram, ask us about that. I will explain you rather than you will go from 0 to 100 like with your, oh, she's crazy, oh, she's this, like making really fast conclusions and assumptions, because by this you can really miss a very nice lady, you can miss some good points and etc. The same is like, I don't want to speak about this right now, but it's like the same about tattoos, for example, because on the latest video we had a lady who is like become a tattoo master, and all the Western guys are like so scared of tattoos, like, oh, she has a tattoo, oh no, because you only know how it is on the West. And we interviewed that girl a little bit about what kind of tattoo she has, like why she started doing that she has a tattoo herself, and like and she say like, and we said, what is the most popular tattoo now in Ukraine? And she said like, it's a little saying, some motivation, some memory, some date, some name of like something, and it's different. And then when people hear that, all 10 guys who was hearing that, I guarantee you that they change their mind about tattoos in Ukrainian ladies. Because they understand that it's not how on the West, and the same about everything. So the best is just to give us a call and understand like the difference rather than make conclusions by yourself.
I'll just leave you with this note. So there's a saying, right? It's a crazy person doesn't know that they're crazy. They just think everybody else is crazy. So if somebody is suffering from some anti-social behavior, like narcissistic or sociopath or even a psychopath, if we want to go to the full extremes, they're not self-improving, right? A narcissist is not going, you know what, I could really work on my personality a little bit. I've got some trauma in my life. I really need to work on it. Unless that person is actually getting professional help, usually in the case of those types of personality disorders, they think that they're perfect already, right? So the fact that if a woman is trying to improve her life through whatever means, reading books or whatever, it's a good thing, right? But the content may not be appropriate for her to get to the place she wants to get to. But she is trying. Same as the guys.
Last thing I want to say, really, I hope you're still watching. I remember that when I was working in construction company, we had like a couple of architects, and the guy, I was writing some presentation about the company, and there was like 36 years of experience. And I'm like, the company is only 3 years old. And my boss told me that they usually, like in construction world, they added up like the experience of the top architects that they have. And I was like, 36 years, okay. And so, and sometimes ladies, like they try to sound smarter and they say, I'm into psychology. You said like, if she's not going too far. Nobody's going too far. Like maybe she will read 1 or 2 books, but because she wants to sound interesting for you, and she thinks that if she tells that she's learning psychology, it's like sounds appealing for you. That is not. But she doesn't know about that because it's a cultural difference, you know. And then she learned 1 or 2 or 3 books, and that's it. Or she like watch 1 podcast about tarot cards, and then she's like, I can do a tarot cards reading. Or she's like into the Poe reading. So don't take everything too serious. We're all a little bit exaggerating, right? Like we all say that, like we try to be better than we are, unfortunately. But it's something that is like, it's you know, scammers and people who are like not sincere and people who are like really trying to lie and offend others. They're so much worse than person who is just reading a book and saying, now I'm a world famous psychologist.
Yeah.
It's all for now. We see you in the next one.
Yeah.